Muy bien, muy bien. Con la esposa y el hijo. Sí, ¿dónde?
¿Quieren que la gente se
¿Cómo? Sí, claro que no, no, voy a venir. Yo estoy amigo. Vámonos.
We face a more crisis as a country and as a people. Those who do nothing invite shame and violence. Those who act boldly recognize that their rights as well as reality. That's why I do what I do. I'm recognizing my rights. I feel like I'm free. I'm free at last. I am free to make music. I am free to walk around talking about promoting peace. I am free to talk about compassion. I am free to do it my way. I know about love, compassion, empathy.
Hand in hand with the alt-right kids. Do you want to see the sons and daughters of the Nazis and the Holocaust survivors walking hand in hand?
Yes.
Think about it now. Because if that's not your dream, what is your dream? What world do you see? I see a world where the lion and the lamb are lying down together. I see a world that's big enough for everybody. King said, I don't hate white people. I don't want to kill white people. I want to live next door to them. Because King's dream was big enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. King's dream was big enough for everybody. His dream was that he could see the sons and the daughters of both slave and slave owners walking hand in hand. Let that sink for a moment. Do you want your kids walking hand in hand with the alt-right kids? If we're really about the dream, it must be the dream. So that when the kids have something to look up to, there has to be some kind of example somewhere of civility.
She's been an activist since the 60s. She fights for social justice, women's rights, people's rights, everyone's rights, and we are so proud to have her here in Santa Cruz. Bettina! I am so glad to be here today. I feel like it is such an honor and a privilege to be asked to speak. The problem we face in a talk like this is that there is so much to say. I am appalled by the sheer cruelty of this administration. The sheer cruelty of it. And you can see this in his threats about nuclear war. Apparently this man never understood Hiroshima and Nagasaki and what nuclear war would mean for the planet.
Amen.
And his bullying and insensitivities, which is hardly the word to use. So we have an agenda. We have our work cut out for us, but I will tell you something. We will prevail. There's a saying from Justice Ruth Ginsburg. She said the arc of justice, the arc of history bends towards justice. That's true. But somebody has to push the arc. And that is what a mass movement is about. And that is what this women's movement is about. And we will march, and we will march, and we will march until the arc of justice prevails. When this administration, the president in particular, says he wants to make America great again, you can see in the policies, you can see in the actions that slogan meant make America white again. That's what he was talking about. And you can see it in the deportations, because the people being deported are people of color. They are Salvadorans, Haitians, people from West Africa, people from Chicano, Mexico and Latin America and Central America, people who have suffered intolerable violence, terrible poverty. A lot of it the United States is responsible for. And I want to tell you something else. This so-called wall that he thinks he's going to build, Mexico was conquered by the United States, all of northern Mexico. You're standing in Mexico. You think that border matters? You think that border means anything? That border is just a human invention by colonialists. We will stand at the border and we will open our arms. Open our arms, just as the Statue of Liberty stands at the entrance to Manhattan with that torch of freedom. What does it represent today in this cruelty? No, no, we will move something different. And I will also tell you that women, all women, of all races, all creeds, all religions, are not going to be silenced. The Me Too movement is not going away. No. If anything, it is going to grow, and it is already global. The Me Too movement is all over the world. So it is not going away. It will amplify, and to a crescendo, that will rock these walls of violence and impunity. Violence against women is intolerable, inhuman, is a way past time for us to unify. 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 Now we can applaud unity. We can applaud the idea of unification, yes. But that means hard work. You don't build a coalition by wishing it. You build a coalition by listening. You build a coalition by understanding what racism is in this country, and as white people doing everything possible to cleanse ourselves of it. And to understand and listen to people of color. And to understand their agenda and embrace it with a large agenda. That's how unity is achieved. So the slogan is unify, but the unity comes through hard work, struggle, listening, and goodwill and loving kindness towards everyone. And we have to be especially sensitive. I'm Jewish, and I'm telling you, especially sensitive to our Muslim sisters and brothers who are being vilified by this administration in a gross distortion of what Islam represents, one of the great religions of the world, and the practices that people may wish to do. So, the First Amendment not only guarantees freedom of the press, freedom of association, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. And the objective of freedom of religion is that the government has no religion. The government imposes no religion. There is a separation of church and state, which is the foundation of this country. And furthermore, we are not going to allow the crucifixion of the elders in our country with the cutting of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. No. Look, I'm 73 years old. I'm still standing. And we are going to stay standing. I'm talking about elders now. And I know there are many disabled people here. I saw the wheelchairs. I saw people walking. I saw people wheeling. We're not going to forget the disabled either. And when there is a moment like this, when people are fired up like you are, and not only here, but all over the country. You know that there's millions of people marching all over the country today. You know that, right? They're in Washington. They're in San Francisco. They're in New York. They're in Los Angeles. They're in Chicago. They're in Philadelphia. We'll get the figures, but the marchers, organizers, this morning on the Huffington Post estimated that they would have 5 million people this year. In the United States alone. And they are marching all over the world. So this is a great moment. And when you have a great moment like this, you think carefully. You think carefully. So when we talk about medical care, there should be single-payer care for everybody. We are the only industrialized world. We are the only industrialized country in the world that does not provide free medical care for everybody. Everybody. And we have, do you know that we have the highest infant mortality rate of any industrialized country in the world? Yeah. And you know that the reason for that is that people cannot afford prenatal care and postnatal care, and because people are suffering in poverty, and I am speaking especially of women, and especially of women of color, and especially of women in the South. So these are agenda items. But how are we going to get there? All right, we said coalition. Well, I'm going to tell you, vote. 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 Register people to vote. 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 We have the statistics. We know that we can register tens of thousands of people to vote who are unregistered now. This is how you win elections. They can gerrymander all they want, but if we get people registered to vote, we can even win solidly red districts, as we have already done. We know that Doug Jones won in Alabama. In my view, it was not by enough of a margin. He won by 1.5% with that sexual predator running against him. But I'll tell you something else. He's in the Senate. He's in the Senate. The woman who first accused Roy Moore, whose name is Tina Johnson. Her name is Tina Johnson. Her home was burned to the ground as a consequence of her coming forward, and people in Alabama raised $170,000 for her to rebuild her home. The Democrats, look, the Democrats are not necessarily all united, nor are they all progressive in a radical sense. But they are more progressive than what we got in Washington right now. So when I say vote, that's what I mean. All right, you take it one step at a time and push people to the left as much as you can and educate our voters. Have them understand what the stakes are. One commentator wrote, the big idea, 10 months is an eternity in politics, but a stunning Democratic victory Tuesday, this past Tuesday, in a special election deep in the heart of Trump country, suggests, she writes, a blue tsunami could be forming. So in 2017, we won in Virginia, New Jersey, other states in special elections, Alabama, I said. But this most recent election was in Wisconsin. It was in Wisconsin. And a woman defeated the Republican candidate, and arguably we have a chance to unseat enough Republicans in the coming midterm elections to swing the Senate in a democratic way. You see, and now the next election, special election, Western Pennsylvania. Western Pennsylvania, in a deeply red portion of the state, a Democrat is running in a special election for the 18th Congressional District. His name is Connor Lamb. He's behind in the polls right now. The election is March 13th, and there is a chance he could win. This is a congressional seat. This is a red district. That would be part of sending a message. A tsunami blue is coming. Connor Lamb, L-A-M-B, look him up. All eyes, all hearts, all minds, 2018 midterm elections, all out. Because the strategy has to be to block this administration in every conceivable way. You have to block. First we block. You know, I don't really play football. I've never played football, but I know about defense. So if you're going to play defense, okay, that's where we start, right? First you do defense, then you do offense. They're sort of intertwined. So to do defense, what we have to do is block them in the courts. Block them at the airports in those mass demonstrations with the deportations like he was trying. Block them, support freedom of the press. If you have not seen the movie called The Post, go see it. It's a terrific film. Okay, and we have to block them in the courts and keep the pressure on in every conceivable way. That's my message today. That's what I want you to do. The unity, the voting, keeping together, listening, coalition. Work locally. We can make a lot of very positive changes locally, not just here, but the whole country, which then teaches people what that arc of justice looks like and how we can develop it and listen again to people at the grassroots level. Okay, the Mueller investigation. We have to keep it alive. The women who have come forward to denounce Trump for sexual harassment, help them, believe them, keep it alive. All right. My last thing that I wanted to do today is I wanted to share a poem with you. Those of you that be in my classes know that I like to read poetry. This poem was originally written in 2002, and it was written by two women, Nagame Mahigan and Sharon Day. And I've taken the liberty of adding a few words to it, but you'll see why. We, the women of the world, stand. We stand here and here and here and here. We stand with hope. We stand with dignity. We stand to love whomever we please. We, the women of the world, stand. We stand here and here and here and here. We stand for peace. We stand for justice. We stand for honorable reconciliations for every conflict in our world. We stand for our mothers. We stand for our daughters. We stand for our sons. We stand for the streams and rivers and oceans, for clean water everywhere. We, the women of the world, stand. We stand here and here and here and here. We stand to give birth. We stand to mourn. We stand for those who cannot stand. We stand in New York City. We stand in Afghanistan. We stand, we stand, we stand. We stand in Jerusalem. We stand in Gaza. We stand in Aleppo. We stand in Cairo, Tunis, Baghdad, Nairobi. We stand in Paris, London, Berlin. We stand, we stand, we stand. We stand at Yucca Mountain. We stand at Standing Rock. We stand at the borders with our arms open. We stand, we stand, we stand, we stand to sing, whisper, shout, pray for a just world, loving kindness, compassion for all. Thank you so much. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since.
Long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, but I know my change gonna come. Oh yes, it's been too hard living. Oh, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, and I know my change gonna come. Oh yeah, it is.